Hey everybody and welcome back to NFT Kings. My name is Matt and in today's video we're going to be talking about Solana, what Solana has done today and how I believe it is going to absolutely surge within the next couple of weeks. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel for more Solana and Decentraland videos. Let's get right into it, folks. So if you guys have not seen what this absolute beast is doing here, folks, we are at a $73 billion market cap right now for Solana, which is literally ridiculous. Because if you would have bought this back in January, you would have never believed that Solana would be the fourth largest cryptocurrency in the entire world. It is bonkers. Now, what makes Solana so amazing, of course, which we've talked about in the past, is obviously the fact that it is so fast, it is so incredibly good for NFTs, for building on, and the community is just wonderful. The community on this channel is fantastic, and a lot of people here came from Solana NFTs. So right now, of course, when we take a look, guys, we're at $242 with a 14% increase on the day. Now, if you would have told me this 3 months ago back when I purchased this around $90-ish, so right here in August, I would have never believed this. Now, the market cap, again, over 70 billion. This is pretty uncharted territory for any altcoin, for the overwhelming majority of altcoins out there. And the volume, of course, is up 100% at $5 billion here over the past 24 hours. And you could say safely that is mostly buy volume. That is mostly buy volume. So that is fantastic to look at. Now, the question is, where do we go from here? What happens on this chart? Well, before we get to that, make sure to check out Webull, guys. Top of the link down below in the description. It is so easy to do. If you guys want to get started trading stocks and crypto, you guys can use my link and get 2 free stocks valued up to $2,300. Anyways, folks, when it comes down to it, guys, we have a lot of things to take into account here. Really, it is important, of course, to zoom out and really look at the big picture. And honestly, guys, this is looking extremely, extremely good. Now, there are a couple of things that I actually notice here when I look at it from a technical analysis standpoint that is a little striking. So the first thing, of course, is a triple bottom. And funny enough, on my other channel where I talk about Shiba Inu, SHIB is also experiencing a very similar kind of movement right now. But you guys can see we have these 3 bottoms here, and ideally this flag here would be a little bit taller, but it is still worth considering. And you guys can see this triple bottom here is looking to have actually played out like clockwork. So again, the way this would look normally on paper would be something like this. We'd have 1, 2, 3, right here, and then obviously the breakout. So these 3 bottoms, of course, are essentially retests of where it was, essentially retests of an old support. And you guys can see that really, when we look at Solana, the support line in most instances is somewhere in the 180s. You could say safely at around 185-ish. Looks to be a great line here of support, because over the past, good 2 weeks, that has been the essential support line. Of course, when you look a little bit further back, it gets a little bit messier. At one point, headed down into the 115s here, which was terrible back in September, but it looks as if, we won't be seeing that anytime soon in the future. And again, when we look recently over the past couple of weeks, it looks as if 185 has been kind of that main line. And every time it hits that, you guys see it bounces back every time. So right now, again, we are seeing that extremely, extremely bullish movement, really triggered by the fact that, of course, the red moving average cross here is past the green, which typically will indicate some kind of bullish movement, and then when the green recrosses the red, it typically indicates a bearish movement. That's typically the way that works. So again, we are approaching something a little funny here. They're getting close. It definitely could drop a little bit shortly here, just because of how high these recent candles have been here. So again, there are definitely some options here. When we take a look at the relative strength index, folks, you guys can see here on screen, we are very high, right at the absolute peak of the relative strength index. So again, it is possible that we can keep growing, but it is also possible we could see a little bit of pullback. I don't see an ultra crash. I don't see anything like that, because Solana really, when it comes down to it, as memey as the NFT industry is, Solana is pretty hard in terms of technical analysis. Solana is pretty well rooted in just buy and sell volume. It has a very good technical analysis base going for it, the same way Bitcoin does and Ethereum does. I would not equate Solana with a lot of other like meme coins out there, first off, because it's not a meme coin, but second off, when it comes to actually charting it, when it comes to actually looking at this on the charts, there is a lot of juicy information here that we could look at and pull apart that is not driven by a tweet or a YouTube video, or something weird like that, or some weird event, or some weird transaction, or some weird NFT purchase. For the most part, Solana is driven just by technical analysis, which is very good. So again, the relative strength index, folks, you guys can see we are creeping out beyond what the relative strength index considers to be acceptable, which, is understandable. It definitely is kind of pushing, the boundaries of what it is in terms of price. Obviously, this will have a very big effect on NFTs because, it is tough to say whether or not people will ape into more NFTs or will liquidate their NFTs to try to keep the amount of Solana and then rebuy when Solana is cheaper. So we definitely do have those factors in play as well. When we come down to it, guys, we have the Fibonacci retracement, which I think is going to be the biggest sort of factor here to look at. So this is the auto retracement you guys can see here. And of course, this is going to give us some great lines of support and resistance, of course, for the near future. So when you guys can see here back a couple of days ago, we have the very bottom of this run here, which is at 198. And then we have the top of the run that has been charted at least at 235. So essentially, you guys can see we chug right past the 78.6% line. We go right past it without having any issues. We waver a little bit here at the 61.8% line, chug past that, and now the 23.6% line looks to be a little bit more pivotal. So this line here definitely looks to be as if a possible situation for support. So again, you guys can see we get above it, we struggle a little bit, head below it, but then we have obviously this breakout, which I honestly don't think is going to be sustained for the entire day. So it is very possible we see a couple more down candles like this that come and retest the 23.6% line here, which would put us right around 225. And I think that is a fair way to end off the week, or to end off, this sort of run here, is to go down to 225 and then work our way back up through some bullish movements. So I definitely could see that happening. Now, of course, there is obviously the other scenario in which, we fall down to the 38.2% line, which would bring us down to around $220, which again is very possible. It could bounce off of that and have another bullish movement. So you definitely could see it retest that $220. So it really just comes down to where on the Fibonacci retracement you guys see this possibly going. Now, obviously, you do have a really bad case scenario, which is, of course, back retesting where, the triple bottom was here at around 180-ish, and I personally don't see that coming here for the near future. I do not think we're going to have some flash crash sending us back down here, but if we did, obviously, I definitely would say that with confidence, it would bounce off of the 180-ish line, because it has, 3 times here in the past it has bounced off that 1, 2, 3. It has done that 3 times. So it is very possible that, if, in some horrible case scenario, we did retest that line, it would definitely bounce back off of it. So that is definitely something worth considering. When it comes down to it, guys, this NFT industry has really brought Solana into the forefront. I mean, Solana has done an awful lot to capitalize on the way that, these NFTs have been working, and honestly have provided a better solution to Ethereum for the NFT industry. So definitely exciting stuff to see. With that being said, guys, I hope you all have enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like, and let me know down below in the comments, guys, do you want more Solana price targets? I've been doing a lot of Mana, Decentraland price targets, and it seems as if people have been enjoying those. So definitely know down below in the comments, guys, if you would enjoy to watch more price targets, of course, for Solana. So that being said, thank you guys for watching. Drop a like, subscribe if you all are new, and I'll catch you guys on the next video. Peace.